So I'm 35 years old. I've never been married. I don't have kids. And let me tell you something. I'm not even ashamed about it, bro. You see, a lot of people hear that and they automatically assume that something's wrong with you. But honestly, in today's world, especially with the dating market out here in America, as a man, that is one of the smartest moves you can make, bro. You see, society pushes this idea, this status quo, that by 30, you should have everything. A house, wife, kids, the whole damn thing. But look around you. Even the people that are married, take a good look at them. They low-key look miserable. Most of the people that rushed into relationships in their 20s, they're either on the verge of getting divorced or they're in marriages that they're no longer happy in. You wanna know why? Because they settled. They wanted to check the box of being in a relationship or married, but a lot of people are in relationships with the wrong person. Honestly, bro, I'd rather be single and building myself up than to be in a relationship that was doomed from the start. Especially now that I'm in my 30s, this is a time for reflection. I don't have time for distractions. The dating market out here in America is no longer the same. It's not what it used to be. A lot of the women are not even relationship minded. Social media has a lot to do with this. The constant validation that they get on there done gas their heads up into believing that they can walk around like they're the Queen of England, not even caring about relationships. They want to have multiple guy friends, and they're out here pretending like they're the celebrities. And you see, for a guy like myself who actually wants to settle down one day, dating out here is like being in a minefield, and the odds are stacked against guys like me. And honestly, I'm not about to settle for just anybody, bro, because that is a fast track to end up divorced and having to pay a whole lot of money for alimony, bro. And I can't bring myself to deal with that, not in today's age. Another thing is, I know exactly what it's like to date women in another country. I've had 2 very serious long-term relationships in Guatemala, all right? And I was able to see the difference between the women out there compared to the women out here in America. Now, don't get it twisted, bro. Just because you leave the States, that doesn't mean the grass is green on the other side in these other countries. Social media and its toxic celebrity behavior is starting to permeate to these other countries. And some of the women are starting to become carbon copies of the women out here in America. Chasing likes, chasing validation and attention, screenshotting conversations with people only to upload it on their stories. I mean, I can go on and on, bro. This is behavior they learn from the women out here in the States. So you definitely have to be careful. Now, when I was in my 20s, I had 2 very serious long-term relationships with women in Guatemala. But I didn't vet them right. They both had daddy issues. Both of them entertained having guy friends. Both liked the attention of other men, which meant they had 1 foot in, 1 foot out in the relationship. So they weren't really ever committed. And guess what? Both those relationships ended just like how they would have out here in the States. So here's a bit of advice. If you don't vet the women that you want to be in a relationship with, it doesn't matter what country you go to, you're going to end up with problems. Now, that's not to say that relationships don't have problems. But in this case, you might experience things like infidelity, lack of affection, constant arguments. And if you're somebody who wants to be in a serious relationship, this is not something you want to be dealing with, bro. But on the flip side, traditional women still exist. The women who grew up in stable households, they had a dad that was still present in their lives. They had both parents who stayed together. Those girls who were raised in those type of households, they respect relationships, especially when the daughter has a great relationship with the father. As a matter of fact, you want to know what happens? They will actually cut you off and stop communicating with you the moment they get into relationships out of respect. These kind of girls already understand that likes on social media does not equate to real value. Those are the kind of women that are always paired off. They're not out sitting on the market for too long, collecting dust, because men, real men who want real relationships, they see their value. These kinds of women also understand what they want. So they're not going to entertain just anybody. They have standards. And the truth of the matter is, that's the type of women worth waiting for. So when people ask me why I'm 35, never married with no kids, the answer is simple. I refuse to settle. Bro, my main focus is to move the hell out of my mother's house, build my online business, start traveling again, and start living the life that I want to live, bro. I don't got time to be settling for people. I don't got time for distractions. Women are distracting. Once I have that foundation, then I can choose to marry from a place of strength, not desperation. I'd rather take my time and get it right than to rush and regret it later. So if you're in your 30s, single, no kids, never married, don't let anyone shame you about it, bro. You're actually going about it a lot smarter than most people are. You're not desperate for a relationship. There's more value in solitude than to be in the wrong relationship with somebody who's going to take up a lot of your time and stress you the hell out. You're in your own lane, bro. And honestly, that's a blessing in disguise. Because when you start building yourself up first And when you focus on getting your life in order, you'll attract better partners. I'm being so serious, bro. You'll also make better decisions. You'll also be avoiding the mistakes a lot of people made in their 20s by rushing into relationships they really weren't ready for. And at the end of the day, being in your 30s, never married, no kids, that doesn't mean you screwed up. It just means that you're playing the long game, bro. And it's better to be late to the game with peace of mind than to be early with regret. And if you ever felt the pressure of having kids, getting married, settling down, drop a comment below, bro. Let me hear your story, all right? And if you found this video useful, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I got more coming for y'all, all right? And above all, I'll see you guys in the next one.